In 1943, psychologist Abraham Maslow proposed the idea of a hierarchy of needs, which explains different stages of life in which we all have the possibility of achieving. Scott Barry is a psychologist who in 2015 was named one of 50 groundbreaking scientists who are changing the way we see the world by Business Insider. He explains Maslow's hierarchy of needs with an analogy involving a boat in the ocean. He is a genius, and I want to share my own adaptation of his analogy. In this analogy, life is the ocean, and each person uses a boat in which they move through life. No one has any control over the ocean, just like no one has control over how life happens. To live in the ocean, you need a boat, which represents our body and, in essence, our health. Now, for our bodies to work, one must do the work required to upkeep your boat so that it doesn't sink. One's boat must be able to provide food, water, adequate sleep, some kind of shelter, and to be able to feel safe in this world. Think of this stage as the structure and build of the boat which you have. Now, when one meets their physiological needs, water, food, shelter, and sleep, then one can feel a level of safety which every human deserves. Physiological needs represent the structure and design of the boat. When one uses the right materials to build their boat, that boat is sturdy and strong and can withstand the force of nature. Outside of the analogy, this means that one fuels their body with healthy foods, drinking enough water to stay hydrated, getting adequate amounts of sleep, and to have some kind of shelter to protect them from the forces of nature. Back to the analogy, when someone doesn't give their bodies the basic energy needs that we all need, their boat will develop holes because of how weak it is. When a hole appears in a boat, water comes in and the boat can sink in time if the holes aren't attended to and fixed. When you have a boat that is leaking with water, it is not safe. You do not feel safe. You live in a constant state of fear. When one is in this state, they are emotionally reactive to any external event. Let me give you an example. Someone has been patching up their boat for the last 8 hours, and man, what a tough 8 hours it has been. They are exhausted. They are scared. A bird comes down and lands on the boat for a rest from flying all day, from scouring the ocean looking for food. This person spots the bird with their periphery vision and feels an irritation bubbling up inside. "Get off my boat!" screams the exhausted person, worried that the bird may cause some damage to their boat. In the rage, they start kicking and punching the air, trying to hit the bird as if everything is the bird's fault. They land their right leg onto the floor of the boat with force, and their leg falls through the floor into the deep blue sea below. Now, the person arrives at a T intersection where they have two options. First, let go of what just happened, forgive the bird, forgive yourself, and repair what you have broken. Reflect on this act and learn from it. Or, hold a grudge towards the bird and develop hatred towards all birds. This person creates their own future with the choices they make. To feel safe, one must have a comfortable and secure environment. The boat must be in good condition as well, otherwise the fear of sinking is always following you, just like a shadow. When one has a strong foundation of a boat that gives them a sense of belonging, something they can take pride in, this is key to building one's own self-esteem, which is how they see themselves in the world. Over time, when one sails in the ocean of life, they will inevitably come across other boats. When this happens, we naturally compare ourselves to others. Let me explain why this happens. Our brain is constantly scanning the environment in which it is in, looking out for anything that threatens it. It scans the environment for information, then takes this new information and compares it to the information within its incredible memory system so that it can sense if it is dangerous or not. For example, when you walk across a road, your brain is making sure that no cars are going to collide with you as you walk across. So your brain makes a logical plan that, based off everything you've ever experienced in the past, will be your safest way to cross the road. And when you pick up your phone and you scroll through your choice of social media, your brain is scanning to make sure that nothing is going to harm you. It takes everything that you see and hear and compares that with everything that it is, because comparing is how we understand something or someone else, by comparing to our own experience. Back to the analogy. When you're floating out at sea in your own boat, your brain is scanning the environment for anything dangerous to keep you safe. When your brain spots another boat, it is going to try to relate to that boat, so it looks at the color of the boat, the condition in which the boat is in, and who is driving the boat. Then it compares itself to that boat. Now, when a brain's boat is not as shiny or not as well patched up as other boats, then that brain is going to feel inadequate in comparison to the other boats that seem to be sailing easier and better in every way. This is what happens when you focus on others and not yourself first. Bring your attention back to your boat, as your attention is the only thing which you have control over. Be thankful that you even have a boat and that it has lasted this long. There are so many boats out there that are too busy focusing on other boats in the water that they can't even notice their own holes within their boat, slowly filling their boat with water until that boat is pulled underwater and drifts to the bottom of the ocean. This is the power we all have, our own attention. Be careful with who and what you focus it towards. When you focus on your own boat, you can repair what needs repairing. You are grateful for what you have, even if it isn't much, because you understand that being thankful for what you have brings more opportunities into your life to be thankful for. When you have a strong boat with a strong identity and a good understanding for how it works, other people can spend time with you on your boat, and you can spend time on other people's boats. This meets our human needs for being connected with others, just like many other animals. We humans need each other. Once you have your basic needs met, meaning that your boat is safe for the ocean and you know how it works and what it needs to thrive, then you can start exploring the ocean. You search for other boats that are similar to yours. You fall in love with one, maybe 2 or 10 boats, because both boats can relate to each other based off the journey that has brought them to that place at that point in time. Once someone has built their boat with what they need to be able to float well in the ocean, meaning that they have access to food, water, shelter, an environment which allows them to have a good night's sleep and a sense of belonging, they are able to enjoy the ocean and all it has to offer. They can meet other boats and spend time in friends, families, and anyone else's boats who they would like to spend time with. When one reaches such a point in life, they are able to help others with their boats. Some may start businesses to help other boats repair the demands of life. Some may start non-profit organizations for similar reasons, and many choose to volunteer their time sailing the oceans and offering help to any other boat who would like it. When you see other boats in the ocean, don't view them as whatever their boat looks like. View them as just another boat of the 7.9 billion boats that are in this world. When you venture outside of your comfort zone, you will be surprised at the commonalities that all boats have.